Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the BeatStars Academy. This is Lee, aka Levi Beats, and I work for the customer success team. I'm a customer success manager at BeatStars here. Today, this is the BeatStars Academy show. It is Monday. Let me get the correct date. It's Monday, the 15th of June, and we're live, ready to go. Just wait for a few people to come in before we start. I hope everyone's really well. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I certainly did. It was a busy one for me. Weather's not been too great here, but hopefully everyone's well. Someone can just put a comment in the chat to let me know that you can see me and hear me. That would be great. So, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what we're going to do today in the show. We are going to be reviewing some licenses, going to show you guys and girls how to create some licenses. What's up from Montreal? Welcome, Montreal. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. So this is the BeatStars Academy, just to go over again for some of these people that are just coming in. And today we're going to go over some licenses, set up some licenses. Last week we went through some track uploads just to show you how to upload some tracks. And this week we're going to go over and show you how to set up some licenses and just give you some pointers, point you in the right direction. Then any questions that you have, please feel free to chuck them in the comments, and I'll do the best I can to answer them as I go along. And then we're going to review some pro pages. So for those people that have submitted pro pages for review, I'll put the link in the chat later on where you can actually go and submit your pro pages for us to review for you. Yes, so let's get started. Let's get started. Let me get back to the homepage. So I just want to start off briefly and just explain a little bit about the dashboard before we kind of dive in and look at some licenses and how to set them up. So I just want to show new users and existing users basically what you will see when you first kind of log into your account. Just want to go over this because there's some really valuable information and just some really valuable tools and couple of cool little features that you can use on this dashboard. So as you can see, firstly, the first thing that you can see here is the quick stats section. You have a filter button there, so you can filter by, as you can see, there's a few options there for filtering. I think it defaults to the week, but yeah, so basically you can see some quick stats there, which is really good. Just gives you a brief overview. Obviously, you can go and click into show all stats, and that will give you a more broader overview, and you can get a bit more information in there. So feel free to check that out. And then you come to this section here, which is kind of your main dashboard. Gives you a couple of little different cool things, quick routes to different parts of the platform, kind of give you quick access and stuff like that. This is generally left for the BeatStars community. For the BeatStars, so if anything we want to kind of notify you of, obviously you can see it as lets you know about the recent link up that we've had with Sony. You've got your latest sales here. This is probably one of the best parts about this dashboard. Kind of cool thing about this is it gives you your recent sales, and it allows you the option to kind of message them and get some direct information from there, which is a really cool feature. You can probably guess how that can be really good to use. And then just some other quick things here, if you want to promote yourself, set up your pro page, just some kind of quick widgets, if you like, quick access stuff and so on. There's kind of a few different things going on in here. Some opportunities that takes you directly to the opportunities page. Excuse me. Some blog posts. These are blog posts that we've recently released. So on, you can actually move these around if you want to. You can also hide them. Now that's disappeared completely. I don't know why I did that. Let me try and bring that one back. There we go. Show. So that should, you can move these around too. So if you highlight on that, you can also, if you click on the customize, I'm going to just move that one back up because that's where I like it. I can do that a bit later. It's cool. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of cool. So this is kind of where you will. Oh, I apologize. You can't see my screen. My bad. I thought I was sharing it. There we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys and girls. I kind of jumped ahead of myself there. Appreciate you for letting me know. Yeah, so we won't go all over that back again because we kind of go over this every week. But yeah, this is just a brief overview of your dashboard. So let's get into the licenses. So we're going to kind of go, I've got some already set up in my own personal account. So we're going to kind of go through, I think I might have, yes, I have actually got some that I've disabled. So we'll go into one of these enabled ones and just, disabled ones, and we'll set one up from start to finish. So let me just go back. This is how you will get to your licensing section. So head to My Media, then click on your licenses and contracts. That's where we are. Welcome to everyone that's just joining in. This is the BeatStars Academy show, if you don't already know. My name is Lee, aka Levi Beats, and today we're going to just run through setting up a license, or setting up a couple of licenses, and just give you a bit of brief information on that. So let's go into one of these and set one up. So I've called this, I don't know why I've called this Free Beats, it was just a test. So we'll actually just call this test for now. But you can name these whatever you like. So this is going to be a non-exclusive license, just to go back and show you this here. So with the free plan, you get one non-exclusive license and one exclusive license. The exclusive license will be at the bottom. With the marketplace plan or the pro plan, you get 4 licenses. So that will be 3 non-exclusives and 1 exclusive. And then with the pro page plan, you get an unlimited amount of licenses that you can create. So that kind of gives you a bit of an option of what you can do with a certain subscription plans that you can get. So let's go back into this. Just to reiterate as well, you can actually only create 1 exclusive license, and we'll get to the reason why in a second. So let's go back and change this to test. What's up, Legendary? Good to see you, buddy. So we'll just name it test. In fact, actually, let me just name this standard. This is just going to create a standard license. So with non-exclusive license, I wouldn't necessarily suggest setting up a minimum offer price. You can do, but I would normally set these at a set price, like a fixed price for these non-exclusive licenses. You only really want to set up kind of like minimum offers and make offers with exclusive licenses, really. So let's set the default track price. Let's go with 20. Let's just make it a round up number. We'll say 25. Default album price. That's if you're creating albums, which is a cool feature that you can do. We're going to just leave that today. You want to click on Enable License. And then with this license, you can then choose which files you're going to want to allow your clients to download with this license. So because this is a standard license, I'm just going to leave it as an MP3, and I'm going to click it as untagged. Obviously, you can see you've got the option. You can actually offer it with the tag, but if you're going to do that, I would definitely make sure that you highlight that within your license description, which we will show you in a second, just so your customers are fully aware of what they're purchasing. So we'll leave it untagged for now. But any of these that you want to select for a license, you will just click the checkbox, kind of like so. We're going to leave it as MP3 today. And then you would put a brief description in here. I can't exactly remember what I normally have in these, but we'll just give a brief description. So we'll say MP3 untagged file. Wait, actually, let's change that. We'll put that in the features list. I'm just going to call this a standard license in here. This is just like a brief description. So basically what the license is. So you could add MP3 on the end of it if you liked. Just do that. Standard license MP3. Just a brief description. You don't want to put too much information in there. Website is way too confusing for me to upload beats to. Okay, Scott, I'll show you a section in a second that may help you, but if you are having difficulties or you're having any issues, please feel free to email us at support@beatstars.com. I will put that in the chat. Just find the chat a second. Make sure you reach out to us if you're having any issues. We're very friendly over there at BeatStars. Support. BeatStars.com. Okay. Yes, please email us at support@beatstars.com if you're having any specific issues. But let's get back to it. So we've got brief description there, standard license, MP3. You don't necessarily have to put that, I'm just putting that in there so you can actually see that. Feature list, so this is kind of what you would briefly kind of say what features come with this license. So you want to kind of give as much information as possible. So let's say features list, we'll go with MP3 untagged file. This, oh, excuse me. Because this is just an MP3 file, we'll also say instant, instant download. And then you can kind of add some of this information that you're going to input here. So we'll leave that a second. So this is kind of the contract section. So you've got a couple of options here. You can do a quick customization, which I would highly recommend. If you have any specific features or requirements, you can go in and fully customize your license. As you can see, it kind of gives you all of the information there. Now, what would happen is if you was to do a quick customization, that would be filled out in this section here, right? So this is what your clients are going to receive. So I would actually suggest reading over this, just so you are fully aware of what you are actually selling to your clients. And if they have any questions, you can answer them fairly easily, and you kind of, you've got a good understanding of it. I know there's a lot to read there, so maybe just read it in sections and just, kind of get your head around it. But I would definitely suggest reading that. Now, if you're going to adjust this, sorry, my screen keeps moving around. It's gone back out again. That's fine. We'll just go back to that. My mouse is a little bit temperamental for some reason. It keeps deciding to go back. So yeah, if you are going to do any kind of customization in this area, I would definitely suggest speaking to an entertainment lawyer or some kind of attorney that can give you some advice, because you don't want to be kind of putting some information in there that's going to be conflicting, or it's going to cause you some possible legal issues in the future. So if you're not if you're not 100% sure, then I would just stick with a quick customization. If there's any specific things that you need to feature in there, or there's any things that you need to add, I would definitely suggest, like I said, speaking to an attorney just to make sure that you're on the right path and you're doing everything legally in the correct way. So let's go back to the quick customization. Because this is just a standard license and it's kind of a fairly reasonable price, it's kind of cheap, we'll just say 1,000. We'll keep everything at 1,000 just to make it, just to round it off and make it a little bit easier for us to work out. Broadcasting rights, so I'm going to leave that as no. Allow for non-profit performances. These boxes are just either yes or no. So you have the option to do that. Allow for for-profit performances. No, I'm not going to do that because it's just an MP3 license. Number of free downloads, let's stick that to 10, say. These are just random numbers, so you don't have to stick with these numbers. I'm just picking any random numbers. Number of music videos, because it's an MP3 license, I'll say 0. Number of monetized video streams, I'm going to keep that as 0, 2. Number of radio stations, we'll leave at 1. Not-for-profit performances, we're going to leave it at unlimited. So that means they can, basically perform and not reap any profits from that track. Then you would put your state or province in there, so that's your city, and then your country. So that I'm in the United Kingdom, so you've got a drop-down menu, and you can just choose which country you're in. So we've kind of got that information now. Now we can go back to. Let's just put that back in there again. What is up with my spelling today? Standard MP3. So we're going to go MP3 untagged file, instant, and what's going on with me today? Instant download. Then we're going to go distribute. Distribute 1,000 copies and so on. So you get the gist of the idea there. You can kind of add some of these, number of streams, kind of briefly give them some information, kind of what features come with that specific license. It's kind of really cool, and I can kind of show you where that goes when we review the pro pages in a little while later. And I'll give you, I can explain to you why it's really important to put that information in there. I've seen some pro pages in the past where there's no information there at all, and the client's not really fully aware, exactly what they're getting with that license. I mean, you can go in and review the license on the cart. It's kind of good to give them that information even before they've added the track to the cart or tracks to the cart. Just kind of gives them some really, really good information about that. So you've got all that stuff filled out. We've already chose that. Let's go back and change that to standard again. Enable license, we said $25, right? For that one, we're going to leave those empty for now. Then that's it. So once you've done that, you'll click Save Changes. And that's you set up. And once you've done that, we'll click Save Changes. Once you've done that, you can come back out to your license section again. And then you would click Apply to all tracks. I'm not going to do that because it's going to confuse my account. But then you would click Apply to all tracks, and that will apply to all tracks that you've got uploaded already, if you have any tracks uploaded already. And then that will also that will also link up with any new tracks that you upload as well. So that license will be included in any new tracks that you upload as well. Another cool feature about this license section is you can feature a track. So you see these little stars on the end here on the right hand side. As you can see at the moment, I've got premium and stems featured. So you can feature these. So we can go back and feature the one that we've just created. You can see there now we've featured. And again, I will show you where that shows up on the pro page. This is just for pro page, so it's where your licenses show on your pro page. So for any new members that are in here, the pro page is a personal website that is like a shop that holds all of your tracks and content and some other really cool features, which you can see if you stick till the end of the show. We'll show you what a pro page looks like when we review some people's pro pages, some members' pro pages. So as I said before, with the free subscription, you get 2 licenses. Or you get the option to create 2 licenses. One is already going to be an exclusive, and then the other one is going to be a non-exclusive license. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat there. I never got the point of leasing an untagged MP3 for recording purposes. Yeah, it just gives users the option, Tom C. It just gives users the option. I can kind of understand your point coming from a producer's perspective as well. You know, having just an MP3, it just depends, you know, and it's giving your client the option to have the MP3. It just gives I know a few people, you know, personally myself, being a producer, I know a lot of my clients that have just purchased a standard MP3 license. Sometimes people just like to record over the top of them, you know, or just to see how it goes, you know, just to get the recording done, and then they may come back to you afterwards and buy the waves and the stems and so on. It's just options. It's just options for your clients. But I can kind of see a point. So where was we? Yeah, so we're at the features, right? So yeah, so we go back to the actual subscription. So with the free subscription, you get 2 licenses, one non-exclusive, one exclusive. With a marketplace plan, you get 4. I'm just going to double check that because I want to make sure I'm right, but I'm sure it is 4. I should already know this, but just going to go and check. Scroll down, marketplace, see more. Yes, it's 4. I was correct. It is 4. Just wanted to. I just had it in my mind. I was thinking, is it 5 or 4? But I was 100%. It was 4. So yeah. So with the marketplace plan, you get. Let me just get back to where we was. Licenses. Yeah. So with the marketplace plan, you get the option to use 4. Obviously, you don't need to use all of them. It's just there's just a limit that you have. So you got 4. So you get 1 exclusive and 3 non-exclusives. And then with the Pro Page plan, which is the plan that I've got, you will get unlimited. So you can create as many licenses as you want. I wouldn't necessarily suggest, you know, creating, you know, probably any more than 5 personally. It's good to give your clients an option, sorry, plenty of options, but you don't want to give them too many. Excuse me. Yes. So let's go through the actual exclusive license and just give you, and to kind of explain the reason why you only have 1 exclusive license and you can't create any more in this section. The main reason is when you sell an exclusive license, you've now signed over those rights to the licensee, right? So you no longer own that content. So what happens is BeatStars has to remove that track off of the platform, right? Because you can no longer sell that to anyone else, any other clients. Now, to do this, it has to be in this section. This is the only way that we can actually remove the track from the platform, is if it's in this section. So if you're creating another exclusive license in this area, in the non-exclusive section, it won't be removed, and then it can kind of cause all sorts of legal issues and kind of stuff like that. And if we see stuff like that going on, then, you know, we will be in contact and, you know, and explaining to you why that can't be done and so on. So please make sure that you're only using this 1 exclusive license and you're not creating any more than 1. You obviously don't have to have an exclusive. You can choose to disable it, but if you're going to use one, make sure you have it in this section here. So I've got this set up as exclusive ownership. I've already got it enabled. I haven't got a default track price because I've set it as make an offer only, which I highly suggest doing. One of the main reasons why I would suggest doing that is because it kind of starts a conversation with your client, you know, and you can kind of negotiate prices and negotiate other things. And it's just kind of a cool way to, you know, build up a relationship with your client. So this is exclusive license. So again, you know, this is where you would kind of name it. I've got it set up as a minimum offer price is 400. This will actually show up when people go to purchase an exclusive license. It will actually show you up underneath the, I believe it's in the cart somewhere. It will show you kind of, it tells them that's the minimum offer that you accept for this specific license, right? So you set out you want, kind of set it at a reasonable price. I've got it at $400. Probably should raise that up a little bit, but that's fine for now. It's kind of good to, you know, keep it that low and, like I said earlier, you know, kind of spark that conversation off. Enable, so we've got it enabled. I've got it set as make offer only, which is what I've done here. Now, if you choose not to do that and you want to put it at the set price, you can. So you would click no, you would then set a default track price. So that would be the price that you're willing to let your exclusive go. So you could put in there $1,000 if you would like to. For some reason, wouldn't let me do that. And then obviously you click enable. We're just going to leave that. We're going to just turn it off for now, just delete that. But you could do the same for album too. So leave it as that. Then generally this is all the files that you would choose to be included with this exclusive. Generally, you know, you would have all files that it would be an MP3, a WAV, and also your track stems too. So for any of you that are going to be selling exclusives, you need to make sure that you're uploading your track stems, or any license that you're going to include your track stems. Please make sure that you upload them, because it's going to cause all sorts of problems. How to get a license for the beat I sold out off of BeatStars. That's something that you would need to arrange yourself, King. Unfortunately, if you're selling beats outside of the BeatStars platform, that's kind of up to you. That's, you know, you can do that, but we would highly suggest that you do it through the platform, just because everything is, you've got you know, you've got a paper trail of it all. Your clients automatically get their license and their files. It kind of takes all of that hassle of, you know, you having to create a license, send it to them. It can be done, obviously, because people were doing it before BeatStars was around, but that's, you know, BeatStars is a tool and it allows you to do that, and it's kind of all automated. So, you know, we wouldn't necessarily suggest selling content outside of BeatStars if you are a BeatStars member, because it's kind of defeating the object of having BeatStars in the first place. So, you know, we would highly recommend and make sure that you know, try and do it within the BeatStars platform, because it makes your job so much easier. You haven't kind of got to get involved. You know, your client purchases, you know, processes the purchase, processes the transaction, and they kind of get all their files, their licenses, everything is already immediately sent to them. You get notifications that you've made a sale, and you also get a copy of your license. And all of that information is kept within your account, so you can go back to it at a later time, you know, for your reference. So yeah, we would just highly suggest that you keep it within BeatStars if you can. Hopefully that's give you a bit of advice there, King, hopefully. So yeah, brief description. It's just an exclusive license. It is what it is. And then feature list, I've just put near contact us for more info, just to try, you know, again, trying to build that conversation with them. And then again, for each of these licenses, you're going to need to put your, as you can see, I actually put a different, so I'm going to need to go back and adjust all these because I've just put Glasgow in there. So yeah, for each license, you're going to need to put this information in. So this is where it comes to your publishing percentages, which is only going to be included on the exclusive licenses, because on the non-exclusive licenses, you still own 100% of your publishing. It's only on the exclusive licenses where you're kind of sharing that publishing percentage with your client or the licensee. So I just set it as a standard percentage is 50-50, so like 50%. And then if there's any other collaborators involved, you can set up within the track editing page, which we went over last week. And then beats with hooks. Generally, this means that you've included that. This means that the beat's got a hook in it. So generally, you know, the track, the beat itself has kind of got more content in it. So the artist has got less work to do on the track, you know, say like with a hook, obviously now they've only got to create verses. So that's if they're using the hook, obviously, that's within the track. So you can set a different percentage for those kind of tracks, you know, if you've got beats with hooks, which is kind of is a really cool feature, because, you know, you may have to share some of that percentage with your collaborator, whoever's, you know, your hook artist. So that kind of does that for you. And then this is for song references. So this is if you're selling complete songs, or if you're doing like vocal productions, and that's mainly kind of for you know, artists and stuff like that. So if there's any artists in here, obviously you can use all this kind of stuff. This kind of works with artist stuff too. It's not just for producers. You can use these licenses, and you can see that, you know, certain parts of the licenses, you know, relate to artists, and even some of you producers out there are artists too, right? So you can get a preview of that license too. You can get a preview of all of your licenses. And again, this is the contract template. And then it's kind of it all on that one. So that's the exclusive license done. So as you can see, there's not too much information to put on there. I would recommend having an exclusive license. I have had some people hit me up before and say, you know, or I've seen some people not selling exclusive licenses, and the kind of, again, you know, it's entirely up to you. But for a typical example, I had an artist reach out to me this week, and he was only interested in buying exclusive. So some people are just, you know, some artists just, you know, want to prefer to have, you know, full ownership of the track before they kind of release it. It's just, you know, just depends on the artist too. So I would definitely suggest having exclusive license enabled on your account, you know, if that's kind of your business and that's what you want to do. Just my recommendations. So we've already created this one, so we don't need to save changes. And that's kind of it. That's a brief overview of a couple of licenses that we've gone through there. If you have any, you know, kind of specific questions about these, you can always reach out to us at any point. You're having any trouble with them filling them out, or having any specific issues, you know, please feel free to contact us. I believe there's also some tutorial videos that we've got in the help section, which I'm going to quickly, briefly go over to you before I ask you guys and girls if you've got any questions. And then we're going to go and review some pro pages and kind of pick out some points that we've referenced here in the licensing section to look out for, you know, like the features, featuring a license, and the brief descriptions and the feature list that we kind of filled out here that you can see. Just go back to the dashboard a second. So for any new users, even existing users, I want to point this out to you. I even still use this personally myself kind of often, because there's, you know, the platform's updating quite regularly. And, you know, even on the customer support side, even though I work for the customer support, it's always good for me to keep up to date with everything that's going on. So we've got a really helpful help section, which you can find. So it'll be, this used to be the call to use section, but now it's just your logo. So this is basically where all of your account kind of setup is, and a few other little cool features that's going on in there where you can find out who your followers are and stuff like that. Just feel free to go in and have a play around in this section. So we've got this help section here. So you click on that, takes you to our help section, and there's a ton of really helpful, useful articles in there. Anything you can think of that's on the platform, some, you know, features that we have, how to set them up. For an example of that, you know, we have a marketing integration, which is Printful, which is for merchandise. You can go in there and it kind of tells you how to set up a product from scratch and how to set up your account. And there's a lot of other cool stuff in there. And there's also some tutorial videos, which is really handy, not just for new users, but for existing users too, because, you know, that you may sometimes forget, because there's a lot of stuff on the platform. There's a lot to, you know, kind of get your mind around. There's a lot of features and really cool stuff on there. So it's kind of cool. Even if you, like I say, even if you are an existing member, it's just kind of a bit of a refresh. So definitely feel free at any point to go and check that section out and just see what it's all about. And you can also, I believe you can also contact the support team directly from there as well. So it's kind of cool if you're not able to, you know, get any help, or you're struggling with anything, you can kind of contact us directly through there too, which is really cool. So, got about 10 minutes or so before I kind of go over the pro pages. So, let's go back. Just want to see if any of you guys and girls have got any questions. Please feel free to put them in the chat. Anything that we've gone over within the licensing section that you're not sure of, you know, make sure you take advantage of myself whilst I'm here. Please feel free to ask any questions and ask away. Whilst I'm waiting for some questions to come in, we'll just go over this, kind of go over the dashboard again. Just want to take you into the stats section. So yeah, so obviously this is your main dashboard, kind of your quick stats. Click on that button there and it kind of takes you into your main stats, which is good for, you know, this is good for new users and existing users again. It's probably more useful for existing users because you've built up some data and stuff like that. But this gives you kind of a breakdown of your stats, basically. So your plays, you know, people that have liked your content, people that have reposted your content, follows, comments, replies, mentions, free downloads. You can click on any one of these tabs and it will kind of create a graph and show you some data, so you can highlight which dates and days and so on. You can even filter. So let's go to 90 days. Welcome, Switzerland. Welcome to the BeatStars Academy show. Yep, so this gives you, again, like a graph. It's kind of good to see some consistency there. You can see that it's fairly consistent. And then you can go in and delve right in and get some more information about specific tracks, your top fans. I don't even know why that is because I don't actually, that's myself, but I don't believe I listened to it that many times. But that's kind of odd. I'm a fan of my own work, obviously, but I don't think that's right. But it kind of gives you can see, you know, who's listening to your tracks, how many times they've listened to your tracks. You can even go in and see which tracks they've listened to. So this is kind of really cool because you can kind of reach it. Something that I did actually this week. I went through this section and you know, the people that were streaming my content, and I could see which tracks they were listening to the most. And it kind of gives me a good idea of what tracks are kind of popping and kind of tracks are popular. Kind of gives you an idea of, it's really good. It's a really good way to use this data. So, and not only go, okay, more stuff like that. Does BeatStars count the plays from yourself? Yes, it does. It will count the plays from yourself. As you can see there, it has there. I believe that might be something that we're looking into. But, Broken Act, yeah. Listen, Broken Act, it's Broken AC. Sorry, it's good to be your own fan. You should be your #1 fan. Definitely, 100%. You know, you should really believe in yourself. It's really important. So, as you can see, I'm my #1 fan because you can see there that there's like 789 track plays, which I don't think is actually a real true. I think there might be something wrong there, but anyway. Yeah, and as you scroll down, you can kind of get a bit more information. You can see which countries, which is really, really cool. You could use this, you know, if you're going to start promoting your content to specific audiences. I actually use this to figure out where my audience come from, and you'll be really surprised sometimes where, you know, people are streaming your beats and your tracks and your content on your platform, on your account. My biggest fan base does seem to be the United States. It's probably quite popular for most people, United States, but I've seen people, you know, with other countries there. I've seen people that have got Germany, like their biggest biggest fans are in Germany. It just depends. I suppose it kind of depends on the kind of genre of music that you create. And you can kind of filter, keep going through. I'm actually really surprised. India there, look, you know, 56 plays in India, which is really, really cool. I never would have thought of that, but yeah, it's kind of, I really like that. So have a play around with that part, you know, filter it out. This is something that I check quite often. I kind of check very regularly. Something I would definitely suggest that you check regularly. Yeah, so that's kind of the, again, you can, as I said, you can filter out 2 or 3 downloads and stuff like that if you've got your content set for free downloads, which is good. So I've had 51 in the last 7 days, which is actually kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of, we're going to go over pro pages now for a bit. We're going to review a couple of pro pages. So I'm going to put a link in the chat where you can actually do that. Let me, don't know why that's disappeared. Used to have a banner there, but it's kind of disappeared now, but I will get the link for you. So you can submit your pro pages for these Academy shows and get them reviewed if you have a pro page, of course. BeatStars Academy. Live shows. Just bear with me a second whilst I get you guys the link. Feel free to check that out. Go and submit your pro pages for us to review. So let me grab the first one for today. So this one is by, this pro page is Don T Beats. So if you're in the chat, please let me know you're here. Okay, cool. So this is Don T Beats pro page. So yeah, from first kind of impressions, I like the coloring. It kind of stands out. It's something that me and Mike have spoken about in the past. You know, having a pro page, it kind of stands out. It's really, really good. It kind of grabs your attention straight away. So I really like that. I kind of really like the headphones thing there that's going on. It's kind of good. You have your Facebook Messenger set up there, which is great. It's a really, really good tool and good feature to have there. You have a featured track, which is really good. You got your BPMs, which we've gone back again. Sorry about that. That's my mouse playing. I think there's something wrong with my mouse. It keeps going backwards and forwards. I think I need to look into my settings to see what's going on there. So yeah, something that we harp on about quite often is labeling your tracks and making sure that you've got BPMs and keys and stuff like that. It's a really important thing, because a lot of artists that come to the platform, a lot of visitors that come to the platform, most of the time, not most of the time, but you know, a lot of the time we see that people are searching by BPM. So it's really, you know, important to have that in there. So that's always a good sign when I see that people are actually adding the BPMs within their tracks. So yeah, that's really good. You've got some tags. I see you've got all your tracks set up for free download, which is something that I do, something that I suggest doing too, which is great. Scroll down a bit. You've got your licenses, which are, 100 points there for that as well. That's great to see those. I like your pricing structure. You've got your exclusive license set up as an actual fixed price, which is fine. That's if you want to do that. That's kind of cool. You have your descriptions there, which is kind of good. So what I said earlier when we was going over the, you know, setting up the licenses. So this is where you will see this information. So This will be your brief description. So here you can see this member has Don T Beats has put in basic license, premium license, unlimited license, and exclusive license. So where I entered standard MP3, that is where that will show up. Oh, welcome, Buffo. No worries, buddy. So yeah, that's where that will show up. And then where we said feature list, this is where they will show up. So you can see this member, he has actually got kind of a lot of good information in there, which again, you know, it's really important. I've seen on some occasions where people's pro pages have particularly got no information in there at all whatsoever. So, you know, it kind of looks a little bit unprofessional as well, especially when people, you know, maybe going backwards and forwards through different pro pages, they can see that you haven't got as much information on there. And that might kind of deter them off a little bit. So yeah, just make sure you put that information in there where I showed you to do that earlier, which is obviously in the features list. This is where your bulk deals will show up. So in one of these sessions, we can go over how to set up bulk deals. It's kind of straightforward. We'll think about, we might do that next week or something, but we'll have a look into that. But yeah, that's where they will show up. So I can see you've got one. I would maybe suggest maybe having a couple of more. You know, at least, you know, having one there is great. At least you've got one there. Maybe suggest having a couple more, just to give you, again, just to give your client a few more options. I think I have about 3 or 4, I think, on mine. You've got some services that you're offering, which is good. Mix and master, 1 year 50% discount, single cover. So this you can use for anything. There's a lot of different ways you can use that services, which you can, you know, which you can do within your account, which is good. You've got your YouTube section showing, which is great. You've got that's kind of cool. I like what you've done there. So you're getting people to sign up for a 30% discount code. That's great. Yeah. So overall, I really like this. Yeah, you've also got all of your, you've got some stuff going on up here. Just click on these. So yeah, you've got a couple of albums that have been created and you've renamed them as beat bundles, which is kind of cool. Then you've got your about section as well. Yeah, I really like this. Good work, great work. Yep, overall, I really like that one. Let's grab another one. So this one is, if you're in the chat, let's make sure that you let me know that you're here. Obviously, if you're not in the chat and you're watching this back again as a recording, you know, you can do that. You can do that via our Twitch channel. I believe you can also do that on YouTube too. You can go back and review these videos. So if there's any information in here that, you know, you feel that you've learned from and you want to go back over and review again, or if you want to take away some information from these pro pages that I'm offering, you know, feel free to go back and watch them again. Connection is super bad. Really? Let me try changing that. I've got the, let me just try changing the connection. Shouldn't be too bad. I've got an Ethernet. Oh, okay. Thanks, Ascension. I've just put it back to Wi-Fi. I had the Ethernet cable plugged in, so that should work fine. Don't know why that's not working. Kymac, hopefully that's better for you now. Anyway. So yeah, let's go and review another pro page here. So let's grab this one. So if I say these names wrong, please let me know. So this is Elephant Beats, I believe. Yeah, so this is Elephant Beats. So if you're in the chat, please make yourself known to me. Again, I really like the colouring on this one. See, both of these are using yellow, which is kind of cool. It's like a colour that stands out. I like what you've done here. That's kind of obviously your logo that you've used. I really like the font that you've used too. It's really good actually. You've got your logo up there, which is great as well. Again, a big plus. You've got your BPMs in there and your tags. You're tagging really well. You've got a featured track, which is great. One thing I noticed, you haven't got your Facebook Messenger set up. That's something I would definitely recommend doing. I would definitely recommend doing that. I have it set up, and in fact, it was probably one of the first things I did when it came out, and I've seen a lot of success from it. Just, you know, building conversations with your clients and stuff, you know, it's a really cool way for your clients to reach out to you. In fact, I should have showed you on the last time, you can actually have a logged in greeting and a logged out greeting. But you can see that within your account. When you go to the pro page section, you can see that there. When we actually go over the pro page section in one of these shows, I can show you how to set that up if you're not sure. But again, you can go back to that help section that I mentioned to you guys earlier, guys and girls earlier, and I believe there's a tutorial in there that shows you how to do that, how to set it up. So if you haven't got it set up and you want to set it up, feel free to go and check that article out. That will help you. Got your licensing. So yeah, again, you've got all that good information in there. Excuse me. You've got your bulk deals set up. So you've got a couple of different ones going on. Again, I would maybe have a few more there. Just kind of read some of this information that you've got in here. Yeah. You've got your exclusive license set up as make an offer only, which is great. And you've actually tagged some information in there too, which is really good. Don't see that very often. Got some sound kits going on. You've got a blog, which is something that I don't see very often too, which is kind of good. Kind of another cool way to kind of spark conversations with your clients or your, you know, your kind of community. Again, you've got your YouTube section set up there, and you've got your subscribe to mailing list, which is kind of cool. Something that I do personally myself, and I've actually found this really helpful lately, is the pop-up for the subscription. On the last pro page that we reviewed, they had that at the bottom, and they didn't have the, oh yeah, sorry, they had that here. You can have a contact form, obviously, which will be that one here, so you can kind of do two different ones. But you've got that kind of here. I would maybe recommend having that as a pop-up. It's just my personal preference. Just from experience, I've just noticed, and a lot recently too, that it's really helped me kind of, again, you know, going back to creating these conversations with your clients, having that kind of thing pop up straight away in your face as soon as you're, you know, someone visits your platform. It's kind of shows up straight away, and that's really, really good. Obviously, it's cool, you know, you have that there, and if you don't want, you know, kind of blasting it in your client's face, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just an idea. It's just something to think about. It's just food for thought. Something that I personally do, and it's something that I find very, very helpful to kind of spark some conversations off. Welcome, Kenya. I think that might be the first time we've had someone from Kenya in the building. So, Buffer, if you're in the chat, make sure you note that one down, buddy, because I don't recall seeing anyone from Kenya join. So that's great. Good to see you. Yeah, so overall, I really like this. I really like the colouring. I really like this kind of turquoisey, greeny, bluey colour. I really like that. And you've kind of got the same theme going without the whole of your page. Yeah, it looks very professional. I really like it. Again, you've got some of your menus up here. You haven't got kind of an about page there. Again, this is not something that you necessarily have to have, but I kind of like it. One thing what I do when I go and even just on the BeatStars platform myself, even though I'm a producer, sometimes I like to check other producers out and just, you know, kind of get a bit of feedback. Sorry, get some idea of what they're all about. And you know, finally, I'm just reading someone's comment in the chat. Thanks, Broken AC, appreciate you. Yeah, it kind of gives you a, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's something I feel like, you know, especially for producing, I think sometimes like we hide behind computers and stuff like that, you know, and, you know, that's completely fine. It's, you know, it's kind of cool, but, you know, having kind of a bit of a bio and a bit about yourself, you know, even if it's just, you know, how long have you been producing for, you know, if you've got any credits, or just, you know, just even a brief description, you know, you could even put a joke in there if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be necessarily be kind of serious, you know. You could even use that section to promote a discount code or something, you know. It's kind of, you know, you can use that how you would like to use it. But I personally feel like when I'm looking for, even when I'm looking for producers to collaborate with, maybe, you know, I'll go into their bio and just, you know, have a read and just see what they're about, you know. And I generally kind of gravitate towards the people that have kind of left some information in there about themselves, because it kind of makes me feel like I'm getting to know a bit about them, you know. And I feel sometimes as well, maybe artists feel the same way, because they, you know, want to have kind of a connection with you. So kind of going back to what I said, you know, about having the Messenger section pop up, you know, Facebook Messenger, having the subscription form pop up, you know, it's kind of, again, building that conversation with people. So having a bio there is kind of really cool. I think sometimes that goes a bit, you know, under the radar a little bit, you know. People don't realize, you know, how important that kind of information can be. Just having a brief description about who you are. So yeah, other than that, you know, on this pro page, I think it's really cool. Again, you know, go back to the standing out, the colouring. It's something that I try to do personally myself on my pro page, to have it stand out. Kind of grabs people's attention straight away, and it kind of makes people want to stay on the page, you know. If they see something that looks kind of unprofessional, or, you know, it's just kind of maybe just a bland color, maybe black. I know you've got black here, but, you know, you've got yellow using, and, you know, some turquoisey, greeny, bluey color going on. Yeah, it kind of thinks, you know, this is interesting. Kind of grabs people's attention. Kind of goes the same hand in hand when you're creating, you know, track artwork and stuff like that. You know, something that stands out, you're probably going to gravitate to more, you know. So yeah, so that's about it for today's show. We're coming up to 3 p.m. EST, I believe. Unfortunately, there's no show on after today. The show's been cancelled today, I believe. So yeah, I want to thank everyone that's joined in today. Let me just go back to the main screen so you can see my face properly. I'm going to remove me from the screen and go back. There we go. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining in today. Again, just going back to what I said earlier, you can go back and review these shows again anytime. You know, if there's anything on there that you missed out on, you know, if you just joined in, or if you kind of joined in halfway through the show, I apologize for the beginning that I wasn't sharing my screen. I'm still kind of getting used to these live shows, so I'm getting there slowly. But I appreciate you guys again for joining us. We're back again next week, same time, myself again. And we'll be going back over some of this stuff and going over some cool features on the platform again. So yeah, thanks again for joining. Hope everyone stays safe, and we'll see you on our next live show. Peace.